Hello and welcome to Under the Visor, the weekly Formula One podcast where one of us knows exactly what he's talking about.
And the other one is still very much deciding whether intermediate tyres are a good idea when it isn't raining.
I'm Carl.
And I'm Tom.
And this week we're diving into the Canadian Grand Prix weekend. And honestly, there's a lot to talk about. The Mercedes suddenly look terrifying, although I have news on that. Antonelli keeps making history. George Russell probably had the most painful weekend of his career and made us all know about it. And Hamilton finally looked comfortable in a Ferrari. McLaren completely collapsed. And somehow Verstappen managed to drag a podium out of a Red Bull that still didn't look good enough.
And before we get into the actual racing, Formula One has once again had an absolutely ridiculous week off the track as well.
Yes, we've got more retirement rumours.
Massive engine regulations discussions.
Driver seat rumours.
And some people are already talking about 2027.
Which in F1 terms basically means next Thursday.
Correct, yes.
So should we start with the new retirement rumours? Because last week it was Hamilton. And this week, Max Verstappen rumours.
Which sounds ridiculous when you first hear it.
Yeah, because he's technically still one of the best drivers on the grid. Let's be real.
But at the same time, it is Max.
Yeah.
He's openly said before he doesn't want to race forever.
No, and there's been loads of talk this week about him potentially walking away earlier than we may have originally expected.
Yeah, especially with how frustrated he looked recently, bar this weekend.
Yeah, and Red Bull just aren't as dominant anymore. That probably changes things for him.
Because when Max is winning comfortably every weekend, it probably feels quite enjoyable, I suppose, for him.
Yeah, but I think for him, he just feels like he's fighting against the car every week.
And the strategy and all of that goes alongside it.
Yeah, so... Yeah,
but I did hear something.
Yeah, go on.
So I said, first podcast, go back and watch it if you haven't seen it already. Max won't be in a Red Bull.
You did?
At the end of the year.
Yes.
I might have changed my mind.
Okay.
So I was watching this I can't remember who the pundit was.
Right.
But he goes, Max will never leave Red Bull.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes on to explain because they let him be Max.
Yeah.
So if he was in Mercedes or if he was in Ferrari or any of the... They wouldn't let him go and do the Nordschleife or the Nürburgring. They wouldn't let him do all the sim racing he loves doing or turn up when he wants or do this and do that. He'd have many constraints. So... And it kind of made me think, well, yeah, you're probably right, because Ferrari aren't going to let anybody go, and they don't even allow their drivers, they don't let them go skiing, let alone anything else. So that put it in my head that maybe he won't leave Red Bull ever, and he'll finish his career there. And I think he's pissing and moaning, but they all do. I don't really think he's going to leave. But that's the only thing that's made me think, there might be something to that. They let him be Max.
Yeah.
Now, swing that the other way. He's 4 times world champion, probably the best driver on the grid. Arguably one of the best drivers of his era. I'd like to do the Nürburgring and a bit of sim racing, but I'll come and drive for your team.
Yeah, I don't...
Especially as Ferrari have a car that could enter that race. McLaren also have a car that could enter that race.
Mercedes do have a car that can enter that race.
Mercedes do have a car that enters that race. Is it terrible for the sponsors? Is it terrible for this?
Yeah.
So I think there's a bit to it, but maybe it's Max Verstappen. If he hadn't won anything, then obviously he would have no grounds to sit on.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was my little thought into that.
Interesting. I hadn't heard that. Well, another thing I've heard, we spoke about it a couple of weeks ago. The F1 were going to change the rules on the engine split between
the 60-40 split.
Yeah, so they were going to put more power through the combustion engine, less through the battery. Well, there's been more regulation discussions this week.
Right.
How would it potentially not come in during 2027?
Right.
Teams are massively divided on it because some manufacturers think the electrical deployment is too aggressive,
Yeah.
But others think changing the rules this early into using it would be a little bit ridiculous. And it kind of feels like F1's already nervous about the next regulation cycle.
Yeah, but especially when concerns of the cars running out of energy at the end of the long straights.
Yeah.
But you've also got to go, we're winning with this engine. We don't want to change it.
Yeah.
We're not winning with this engine. We want to change it. Aston Martin will obviously be all for it because their car is the worst thing that's ever raced a Formula One circuit.
Yep.
So they're obviously going to be for it. Whereas Mercedes might be like, well, actually, we've got the advantage here. Or have they? And we'll see. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, well, but yeah. Watch
Bring back
this
the V8.
space. Yes, bring back V8. 2030. So, 2031.
Yeah, bring that forward. 20.
Yeah.
Bring that forward.
Ocon, you know a little bit more about this than I do.
Yeah, it's another story this week. Ocon, obviously, we know he's under pressure. Do they really want him there? Is he bringing much to the team? But he is massively under pressure.
Yeah.
It's potentially that he's gonna lose his seat.
And they're going to do what Red Bull did to Yuki.
Yeah, I think there's young drivers waiting in the wings for opportunities that they could be in with that seat. And he's not doing a lot, really. I don't even know how many points he's on. But if he doesn't start delivering very quickly, then I think he'll be out.
Ocon is currently 16th with 1 point, tied with Albon.
Yeah, so, yeah, terrible.
The only people behind him is Hulkenberg, Bottas, Perez, Stroll, and Alonso, all on no points.
Yeah, well, got to give Alonso a bit of... He is just a rookie after all, so...
Oh, yeah, exactly.
A bit of grace.
Yeah, in what feels like a Peugeot 206.
And Mercedes suddenly becoming the team to beat again.
Yeah, now, I found this before I heard a bit of news today.
Yeah.
So, another talking point this week was obviously Mercedes, because they are now just the fastest team.
Yeah.
And the scary thing is, Kimi is just improving every single weekend. I don't know whether my mic is picking up the massive thunderstorm. So if it is, it's not my belly rumbling. It is currently thundering outside. I'm going to put that out there. It's not me.
Here. Now, while Russell is driving some of the best of his career, we'll come on to Russell later on because, if this is his best, he's not going to win the championship.
No, and
he needs to up his game.
I think we'll probably cover a little bit of a civil war as well later.
Yeah.
But what I have read today or heard today, and we did know about it, and maybe it's just kind of slipped the mind a little. But Mercedes are obviously dealing with a loophole in the minute with the engine, to do with the ratio. I'm not quite technical enough to explain it, but there's some sort of ratio that they're not abusing, that's probably the wrong word, but they found a loophole with.
Yeah.
That is being banned from Monaco onwards. And it is set to cost
Pretty big news.
Set to cost them 0.3 per lap.
I mean, that is going to really hinder them because the other guys aren't 0.3 behind them. Ferrari definitely aren't. McLaren, whatever. I mean, it doesn't matter with them at the moment, but they're not that far behind either.
Yeah.
We knew it was coming. I don't know how much it will hinder them at Monaco.
Yes.
I don't think it will hinder them that much. But when you're going to places that are like Silverstone, massively high speeds, then it will hinder them a lot.
Yeah.
So shall we talk about some upgrades?
Yes, so there was a lot of team upgrades going into Canada. Mercedes had a pretty major package, and straight away the reaction was kind of like, uh-oh.
Yeah, because the car immediately looked planted.
Yeah.
It was immediately out of the box, and George seemed to be in his element as well.
Yeah. they were especially good through the chicanes.
Yeah, and Canada's one of those tracks where confidence on the curbs, massive, really matters.
Yeah.
Like through the, you beat turn 1, 2, 3 and 4, where they whip round just before the wall and come round,
the wall
and
of
then into another
champions.
chicane. No. So the wall, that's another one where you have to get the curbs right. But I think it would be 3 and 4. After you go through the first corner, around to the second one, that one where you dart through nearly, you just really lift and go. And it's the one that Antonelli bumped over the grass.
Oh, okay, yeah, another one. Yeah,
that one.
Yeah.
So again, you need confidence on the curbs.
Yeah.
So.
Well, McLaren also bought updates.
They didn't bring any flipping tyres.
No.
But weirdly, the car never looked that set.
No. And Red Bull still didn't quite look like Red Bull.
They're fast.
Yeah, but they're not terrifying.
No, not at the moment. But I mean, as we know, Max did drag it out, and yeah, I think there's more to come from them.
Yeah. So FP1. Before we start FP1, just to take a moment's silence for Gary the Groundhog, that sadly lost his life during first practice.
They hit one.
2.
2.
Yeah. One in FP1 and I think one in... there's one the next day, apparently. So, and almost a squirrel during the F2 race as well.
Oh,
so that one lucky. But rest in peace, Gary and Glenda, the Groundhogs.
Or pieces.
Oh, rest in pieces. So just have a minute's silence. So FP1 immediately told us Mercedes meant business.
Yeah, and Antonelli was fastest.
With Russell right behind him.
Yeah, Mercedes won 2.
And suddenly everybody started going, well, a Mercedes just the fastest car now?
Hamilton also did look strong, though.
He did, yes. And in FP1, McLaren looked okay.
But Mercedes just looked comfortable.
Yeah.
It looked like they had it all wrapped up.
Yeah, Leclerc looked decent as well.
Yeah. But there wasn't much to report, really.
No.
It was just a standard sort of practice session. 60 minutes as well.
Yes.
Not the 90 minutes.
Yeah, I did notice that.
Because then we obviously had to move straight into, because it's a sprint weekend, we had to move straight into sprint qualifying.
Yes, well, that gave us the first proper Russell versus Antonelli moment.
Yeah, and Russell takes the sprint pole.
Yeah, Antonelli second.
And honestly, the gap between them was tiny.
Yeah, I mean, what impressed me most, though, was how well Kimi did in the qualifying.
I mean, because he's driving with absolutely no fear and just gets on with it.
Yeah, I mean, most rookies, if you can call him a rookie, would be intimidated going against someone like Russell in the sprint quali with the times he was pulling.
I just think Antonelli just thinks he should beat. He knows he can beat him, can beat him, and believes that. I mean, he's got nothing to lose.
No,
if he doesn't win the championship. Okay, you didn't win it in your second year.
Exactly.
Okay, Russell, you didn't win it in your 9th year.
Well, yeah,
whatever he's on now. So
I mean, one observation I made from Antonelli this weekend, and it kind of only applied to the sprint. He looked a little overconfident. Maybe he thought...
Antonelli?
Yeah, maybe he thought, like you say, genuinely believes I should beat him, and I'm going to do everything I can, and I'm going to drive really aggressive because I can drive like that.
Let's talk about the sprint then. Let's move on to the sprint.
Yeah, because you could tell everyone... Go on.
I'm just going to say, it really felt like this is where it all started to come alive.
Yeah, everyone was like properly pushing, is what it felt like.
And that is, it was like you say, but it felt unusual. Even though sprint races are full blast normally, this felt on it all the time. Yeah,
so Russell got away really well from pole.
Yeah, but Anthony was immediately applying the pressure right behind him.
Yeah, Norris looked really aggressive in the opening laps as well.
McLaren generally looked like they might have race pace at this point.
Finally, which makes what happened later in this weekend even more annoying and confusing. But
Daft is what it was.
daft,
But...
yes. But we digress.
And the biggest thing, though, was the Mercedes battle.
Yeah, because for the first time this season, it's genuinely felt tense.
Yeah, and they were really racing each other hard in this sprint.
Yeah, there were a couple of moments where you could tell Toto probably had his head in his hands.
They were getting close.
It very much was showing. I mean, we covered it previously, but it was very much Rosberg versus Hamilton vibes.
Exactly, because Russell clearly sees himself as the team leader in Mercedes, and he should have it his way.
Yeah, and Kimi just doesn't drive like a number two.
Not even slightly.
No, but his confidence did impress.
Like we said, he is fearless.
Yeah, most rookies would back out of those situations, and that's what makes it dangerous for Mercedes long term.
Yeah, Anthony looks like he fully expects to beat Russell. But I think we have to address Kimi in this, because he did lose his head.
Yeah.
Now everyone goes as a rookie. Fine. I like Kimi.
Yeah.
And everyone views him as a rookie. This is his second season though, and he's done F2, F3, loads of seasons. You can't do that. You can't lose your head, and that's when you start making mistakes. Because obviously he did slam it down over the chicane, which nearly took them both out.
Yeah.
He was going on the radio. Now I think that's fair enough. I think he should be saying, you know, because I mean, I believe that when he went to overtake Russell on the outside, Russell did push him off. Now you can say, oh, was he alongside? Was he this? Was he that? If you think you're quick enough, you can pass him again. If you don't think you're quick enough, you're going to push him off the track.
Yeah.
And then Kimi, but again, into team rivalry, they're not going to go right straight to the stewards, get him out. So I think Kimi showed his immaturity there.
Yeah.
But he is young on his side. Where when we move into the race later on, immaturity in a different form and a louder form, and really silence all the things that Kimi did the whole weekend. If you wanted to pick apart Kimi over the weekend, George took that all away, because that's all we're going to be talking about later on.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, tyre management was interesting.
Yeah, the front suspension, he looked horrible.
Really did. Loads of locking up.
But yeah, especially in that final chicane.
Yeah, and there was a lot.
And the second chicane, the third corner as well, where people were locking up and going over the grass there.
There was a lot of talks of people struggling to keep temperature in them, especially after safety car periods.
Yeah, who was it that lost them the most? I think it was Mercedes, potentially Ferrari as well, weren't heating them up properly and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I think McLaren in the sprint, they were pretty decent. They
were, yes.
And they had very good pace.
They did, and it's probably the strongest they've looked all weekend, which is...
Norris especially.
Yeah.
Norris especially looked quick.
We finally saw the world champion in him coming out a little bit. Which kind of makes what happened Sunday really frustrating.
Get on to that.
But in the end, Russell wins the sprint.
And honestly, the result wasn't the biggest story.
No, because everyone immediately came away talking about the Mercedes tension. Yeah,
and Antonelli afterwards definitely sounded frustrated, but he really railed it in. He goes, oh, I really enjoyed the battle.
Yeah.
You know, we'll talk about it later. I haven't seen it, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, I mean, Toto did have to come over the radio and tell him there's a time and a place to talk about it. But you could tell he felt that Russell had raced him aggressively.
Which he probably did.
But now Russell knows that Kimi's actually becoming a bit of a genuine title threat.
Exactly. It doesn't feel like the experienced driver versus the rookie anymore. It definitely feels like two championship contenders. And as we'll come on to later, the younger might be the more mature. Yeah.
Yeah, which I didn't think I would be saying.
No, I really didn't as well. And like I say, I really like Antonelli. I like the banter over the radio, you know. Say it how it is, say it how you feel.
Yeah.
The fact that we can hear it, don't worry about that. because I don't like it when teams try and silence the drivers, because it's like, well, we want to hear the frustration, and what are you going to do about it?
Yeah.
Tell us.
Yeah.
You know. But hey. And then we move on to qualifying for the main race.
Yeah. Russell takes pole again.
Anthony is that right there again with him.
Yeah. What's interesting now is that Russell looks quicker over one lap.
But Anthony looks calmer.
Yeah, exactly.
McLaren were close, but never looked to dominate.
No, Ferrari looked competitive.
And Verstappen honestly looked like he was dragging that Red Bull higher than it deserved to be.
Yeah, now, I was quite optimistic going into the race after qualifying, because the outcome of qualifying, the top 5, was exactly the same as the outcome for the sprint race qualifying.
It was indeed.
Even down to the lap time differences, very, very similar.
Yeah.
And with how well Lando performed in the sprint, I thought, we're onto it here. If Kimi and Russell fight like they did, all it's going to take is Lando to seize an opportunity. And that's not quite how the story went.
No.
So it was a brilliant race, though.
It really was.
For a neutral, there was a lot of action.
Yes. I know what's coming, and it's yeah. I mean, Canada normally delivers anyway. It was a very good race.
Yeah, you've got walls close by, you've got heavy braking zone, safety car potentials. It's got the potential for chaos.
Yes. Now, are we going to talk now about McLaren?
Yeah. Now's probably a good time.
Yeah.
Although they weren't the only ones, but
they were the only ones that started the race like that.
There were I think there was 5 drivers in total that started on them. But there had been some
raining.
There had been some rainfall.
There had been some rainfall previously in the year.
Yes. And somebody in McLaren, who we can only imagine now no longer works there, decided to start both cars in the dry on intermediates.
Mental. But not only that, they did a formation lap, and Piastri came on the radio saying, "I'm not sure this is right."
A formation lap.
Yeah. And then they did another one.
Yeah.
And Piastri came on the radio again, going, "I don't think this is right. I think we should pit and start from the pit lanes." Yeah. They ignored him. And they did another formation lap.
Yeah.
He came on the radio. "I really don't think this is right. Maybe they ignored him." They had 3 opportunities to change the tyres and did nothing, and started both of them in the dry.
Yeah.
On intermediates.
Yeah. Now, despite being on the intermediates, Lando did get a really good launch.
Well, yes, because those tyres are going to warm up very, very, very quickly.
Yeah.
But I mean, he did. He got an amazing launch and straight into first. Russell covered Antonelli.
Yeah, Hamilton got aggressive early.
Verstappen instantly looked like he was fighting the car.
Yeah. But he did look like he was winning that fight, though.
He did.
So, early race, the first stint was quite fascinating because nobody could really break away.
Which was unusual around Canada. Normally somebody is just shoot off and that's it.
Yeah. But Russell, Norris and Antonelli, they were all trading pace. And the tyre degradation was much higher than people expected.
Yeah, especially on the fronts.
Yeah, a lot of locking up again into the final chicane constantly.
And it looks, and the curbs look brutal all weekend. Like they were catching them out, the bumps were, and all of that.
Yeah.
And then we move on to Norris.
Yeah, well, the first big turning point for me was Lando.
Yeah, because he initially looked rapid on his wets.
And I thought he had the strongest pace quite early on, to be fair.
But once the race settled down, McLaren, once they got onto the right tyres, McLaren never looked fully comfortable. But do you remember when they came around to lap him?
Yeah.
And I said, well, this is a shame because he's keeping up with them.
Yeah.
you know, they're at full belt and he's keeping up with them there, and you ask the question, what happens if he tries to unlap himself and run through all of that, and basically he's entitled to it, just doesn't really happen.
Their strategy did feel hesitant.
Hesitant. I mean, did they have a strategy? Just sort of what have we got in the corner? But the tire life just looked poor. And we're not even talking about the wets, which obviously are only going to last 3 laps in the dry, if that.
And then eventually gearbox issues finally ends Lando's race,
which in a way is a good thing, because, and you may go, well, what are you talking about, it's a good thing? Well, he started on wets. If he was absolutely flying, setting fastest lap, really keeping up the pace, carving through the field, got himself up somewhere, we would have won that race, but he broke down. So fine. At this point though, Russell's controlling the race. Yes,
he was driving brilliant.
And honestly, sorry, my alarm just went off. And honestly, probably one of his best weekends in Formula One.
Pole position,
sprint pole,
sprint win,
strop. Oh, sorry, that comes later. Leading comfortably,
and was managing the race brilliantly.
And he genuinely looked like he was the quickest driver at this point.
The stroppiest driver at this point. Antonelli never really went away, did he, though?
No, that's a scary thing. He was pressure.
So even though Russell did look to be in control, Kimi was constantly there,
just sitting inside the gap,
waiting.
And that's not normal rookie behaviour. But it did show that these cars, you can follow each other.
Yes.
And they did say that afterwards. But not normally. But then, shall we talk about
the moment that we've been teasing, the moment that completely changed the race?
Yes. Where dummies went flying.
Yes, toys were thrown, quite literally.
Russell's power unit fails catastrophically. Just go, boom, that's it. Done, I've had enough.
And in fairness, you could hear the heartbreak immediately on the radio.
Because he knew how important this race was for his championship.
Yes. But everything up to that point had gone perfectly for him.
But then it's all gone. Nobody cares about the sprint.
No.
You know, and then he lets himself down.
Yes.
He throws the steering wheel bung out. Then he throws the headrest out. I thought he was going to throw the steering wheel, which would have been so the rules state they have to return the steering wheel to the car up before they wherever they are, and put the car into neutral. He didn't, and then he starts throwing his gloves around, and it just felt like
the car when he was getting out.
It was just felt like
proper
an petulant child that, you know. I mean, come on, George. You have complained about Max Verstappen in the past, and now you are the meme. I mean, it's silly behaviour. It's not professional. It looks like your head's gone. It looks like you are really struggling now, and you are 43 or something points behind Antonelli, and you're throwing your toys out the pram. It's embarrassing, really. Things break, and Antonelli will probably have a failure sometime as well.
Well, that's it. Like, I said to you when he was doing that, when he threw his headrest and the steering wheel retainer, I said, "Is that not dangerous throwing that on a live track?" And you said, "Well, yeah, 100%, and he's probably going to get a fine for this." Have you heard what punishment he's had?
No, what was it?
He's been fined €5,000, pocket change.
Nothing really.
Suspended for 12 months. So he doesn't have to pay it unless he does something like this again.
Right.
So basically, nothing. Like, bad George.
No. I mean, it just felt all a bit staged and a bit, I should do something here because... I don't know. Anyway, it gave Antonelli the win.
It did, and from there he was just ice cold. There were no mistakes,
no panic or anything.
No, just complete control.
And the crazy stat is now that's 4 wins in a row
at 19 years old.
and it's also his first. I can't remember what record it might be a record now, but to win the first 4 races you ever win in a row.
He is the first person to win his first 4 races, to get his first 4 wins in a row.
Yeah.
However it's worded, yeah. At 19 years old as well.
Yeah.
But
should we talk a bit about Hamilton and Verstappen?
Probably one of the best battles late in the race between them
honestly,
two.
This was it was vintage Hamilton. Really,
yeah,
wasn't
he
it?
looked aggressive again.
Yeah, really confident on the brakes.
Yeah, and when he got past Verstappen, you kind of thought, okay, Lewis is finally settling in.
You could even hear him in the post-race interviews.
Yeah. So I watched a clip today. I don't know what had happened to Kimi, because you know they go to like that green room where they see clips of the race and everything. Kimi walked out. Don't know where he went.
Yeah, he probably had some interview or he had to find something.
But it left Lewis and Max together, and it was just so good to see 2 racers of their caliber discussing how good of a battle they gave each other.
And do you know what? And I'm not Hamilton's biggest fanboy. I think he can be arrogant, a bit pretentious and a bit pretend. But it was nice to see that he doesn't hold a grudge, and him and Verstappen are talking and actually seem to be quite
amicable and friendly.
Not friends, but respectful, and stuff like that. And I thought that was nice that they're having a conversation, having a chat, and being civil, because we know that if Hamilton doesn't want to talk to you, he will not talk to you. So it was nice. Yeah, I agree.
I mean, Max was sat there going, "You were incredibly quick through turn 6," and then Lewis was like, "Yeah, but on the straights, you were just immediately there, pressuring me." And it was just nice to see that between the two of them.
It really was.
So,
and also nice to see Lewis picking up Kimi, and it all feels nice. At the moment,
although it is still those kind of behaviours does make me still see Hamilton as the 3rd racer of Mercedes still.
Yes, which is nice. I mean, it's nice to get on with that team. And he knows everybody there, and it's Bono's boy and all of that. So, and Ferrari's pace, overall, honestly, looked solid all weekend. Yeah,
not quite Mercedes level though.
Definitely stronger though.
Yeah, and Leclerc had a pretty good race, to be fair to him.
He did.
Yeah.
And Verstappen, his damage limitation really.
Third,
and I think
third place sounds good. I think for him, for the car that he's got.
And it never looked like winning.
No. But that is a worrying thing for Red Bull fans.
Because when Verstappen can't extract miracles anymore, suddenly the weaknesses become more obvious.
Yeah. Should we do a quick mention to Colapinto?
Yeah.
Sixth
absolutely.
place for Alpine is an unbelievable result.
Yeah, and honestly, it's one of the surprise drives of the weekend.
Yeah, it's quietly brilliant.
Yes.
Now,
did he do well in the race before as well? Was that
Miami or the sprint?
Miami. You get points there as well.
Colapinto. So yes. So actually, fact for Colapinto is Miami and Canada were his best 2 ever placed races, 7th and 6th.
There you go.
Now, one annoying, frustrating thing, and a lot of people have been talking about this online, is obviously we're saying Colapinto deserves a bit of kudos for his driving this weekend. Did we see any of it?
No.
Did we see any of the battles behind 3rd and 4th? Did we see any of the racing behind 3rd and 4th? A lot of people are slandering the, not race director, but the actual televised directing of the race, and that it was probably one of the, if not the worst ever.
Yeah, it wasn't great. There were a couple of times where they put something in the top corner and you couldn't really see it.
Yeah, but it was covering what was happening.
It was covering what was happening. And then we had the good battle at the end, and they cut to Kimi way too early to cross the line. Yeah, it wasn't great.
No.
It wasn't great.
So
but you get them.
You do, yeah. Post-race talking points.
Okay.
Let's ask the big question. is Kimi now the title favourite?
I think he's he's got to be.
Yeah, I think I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very confident.
Yeah,
Very
confident, consistent, and everything. It's because it's not just speed; he's got everything. He's got momentum as well.
Yeah. Now,
what will happen if he doesn't win a race or gets a second place or gets a DNF? Will that hinder him massively? Who knows? But at the moment, you've got to say favourite.
Okay. Do you think Russell can recover?
If Kimi keeps doing what he's doing and doesn't have a DNF and doesn't make a mistake, having a 43-point lead in the championship, I think he can recover. I think he's just got to go and screw his head back on, think about what he does best, and concentrate on the driving and not silly mistakes. As soon as you start nudging Kimi out the way, Kimi is going to do it straight back to you.
Yeah.
And Kimi's ahead. So, it's I think he can, but I think he needs to be careful. We can't have any pushing and shoving anymore. Otherwise, Mercedes will just stop it and go, Kimi, you're ahead of the championship. George, you now are sporting world. And that'll be the end of it. As soon as they have a coming together and they all lose points and there's a Constructors' title that's on the line, then it'll be very quickly stopped and that'll be the end of it. George will have no chance.
I mean, they are 53 and 19. They're 72 points clear in the Constructors from behind Ferrari and 113 points ahead of McLaren.
But their engine is being dulled down in Monaco. Are McLaren going to pick up the pace? Are Ferrari going to get up there? They've had this thing that they've been using to their advantage. Without it,
yeah. Do you think?
Who knows?
Do you think McLaren are beyond return?
No, I think they'll catch up. I think they'll catch up and start winning again.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what about Ferrari? They finally look like they might be understanding Hamilton a little bit more.
I think Leclerc needs to wake up now, whereas we were saying Hamilton probably needs to wake up. But I think they'll be there or thereabouts. Leclerc had a pretty weekend, really.
Yeah, I think I agree with you. They just need to unlock that consistency.
That's it.
Yeah,
that's it.
So that was the Canadian Grand Prix in a bit of a nutshell, really. Antonelli wins again. Russell with the heartbreak. Hamilton finally looking alive in Ferrari red. McLaren implode on themselves. And we've got a potential civil war brewing again at Mercedes.
Which normally means great entertainment for us.
It does indeed. We will be back next week. Hopefully on time. I know we're a day late.
It's hot.
It is very, very hot. And sitting recording in that heat is ridiculous. Hence I've been holding a fan
It's
the
not
whole
just the
time.
recording. I sit here and I do the recording. I chat nonsense at you all the time, and we try and get some facts thrown in there. But then Carl goes away, and I do sit with him sometimes. But he does the editing, and then he does the uploading, and then he does the extracting, and then he gets to make sure that I haven't been picking my nose or sneezed or said something I shouldn't say in the middle of a podcast.
You wouldn't ever do that.
And that's to edit all of that. No, I'd never do that, would I? Or I don't go
with your brand placements.
With my brand placements, which he's now going to have to edit that out, but he's going to leave it in, I'm sure. But yeah, that's why it takes such a long time.
Pepsi sponsor us.
Sponsor us, please, Pepsi. But so when we both have full-time jobs,
yes,
So that's why sometimes
and a young child.
We need to plan to record it on the Sunday. We're back to normal
That's
though
it.
now.
Now we've got the European stint. We can do our recordings post-race. Obviously, we like to do it the day after because we like to wait for things to happen. Like there was a lot of penalties this weekend. Some, as we know from Miami, are dealt post-race. So we don't want to miss those in our recap. But we always aim for a Tuesday morning release. But However, if you would like to keep up with any breaking news, any updates, any fun bits of trivia, or anything like that, then in the description of this episode are all of our social medias. If you've got any ideas for future episodes, because the next race is it 2 weeks' time?
Yeah, Monaco.
5th and the 7th. So next weekend, obviously, we haven't got a race, so we're going to have another filler episode.
Yep.
So you've got our email address in the description, all of our social medias. Drop us a DM, drop us an email, drop us a comment, and all of that on the videos. Let us know what you want to see and your thoughts on what we are doing to try and get the news across to you.
And that is all from us.
Yeah.
So we will be seeing you in the next one next Tuesday for a filler episode. We don't know what it's going to be yet. But if you want something, pop it in the comments.
Yeah. And we'll see you then. So see you later.
Bye-bye.